Hello everyone, my name is Jensen. I am an author. I write books. If you want a more full spiel, I've written 7 books. I'm about to finish my 8th and then my 9th. They're both very close to being done. I'm a book coach and I have one book out. It's a Twisted Alice in Wonderland fairy tale. Here we go. Our video today is lesser known writing craft books, which I am super excited about because I love a writing craft book. I read them for fun in my free time. The first one we're going to talk about is Writing on the Bones, Freeing the Writer Within by Natalie Goldberg. And this one might be my favorite one of all time. So this is the 30th anniversary edition, so it has a foreword by Julia Cameron, who wrote The Artist's Way. And apparently they're friends. That's neat. I actually just picked this up at the used bookstore, and it's in great condition. But I read it first for one of my short story classes in university, because in university a lot of the classes for creative writing, it's really hard to write a full novel in a semester and have everyone in your class read like 20 novels because that's how many students are in the class. So you do a lot of short stories in creative writing degrees. At least I did, as an undergrad creative writing minor. But this one is dedicated to all Natalie Goldberg students, past, present, and future. May we all meet in Heaven Cafe writing for eternity. And I just think that's cute. But I read this for class, and I just absolutely loved it. So it's a series of essays, almost 200 pages worth of essays on how to write and how to live. I think it's really fascinating, and it's really cute. What's my favorite essay in here? The one on compost is good because compost is something I think about a lot. Both writing as a practice is really good, and composting. You have to let your ideas sit in your brain and then break down and what word am I looking for? Just make into a new thing. Reconstitute. There we go. You have to make it sure it reconstitutes into an actual book. So it's really good. If you have not read Writing Down the Bones, I would highly recommend it. And other than this one being my favorite, the rest of the books aren't really in any order, and I have most of them on my Kindle. So instead of having the physical book, we're pulling out the Kindle. Next up is Write 10K in a Day, which, my pop socket does not want to keep it upright. Write 10K in a Day, by Lydia Michaels. I keep saying the author before I say the subtitle. So, Write 10K in a Day, Avoid Burnout, Unleash Your Prolific Potential by Lydia Michaels. This one is really good because, first of all, it's a really long craft book, and I think long craft books are great. This feels relatively short for a craft book, but Write 10K in a Day by Lydia Michaels is all about health as a writer, and the first section, which felt really long to me, longer than most of the other sections, is about how to be healthy in a stagnant lifestyle such as a writer. And that was really eye-opening to me. One of my favorite suggestions from the book was to, for every word you write, take one step. So 2,000 words means you walk 2,000 steps, which is about a mile. So when you write 10K in a day, you walk 5 miles. And she was like, I do this before breakfast. And she's a full-time writer. We're not all full-time writers. I get it, but also I don't. But that's something I would like to work up to, I think. What else do I have on my list? Bird by Bird. Let me see if I can pull it up. So Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott is some instructions on writing and life. And it is very similar to Writing on the Bones. If I recall correctly, it has just advice on writing and life similar to Writing Down the Bones, but from a different artist. And she has, there's one thing from Bird by Bird that I'm trying to remember exactly. Actual cover. Oh, she talks about shitty first drafts. There was a different phrase though, and it's about the framing of your first draft. I'll see if I can find it. I don't actually have the full version of this on my Kindle. I've checked out from the library multiple times because I believe in supporting your local library. Anne Lamott just opens by talking about how she grew up going to the library and reading books. And then on part 1 in writing, she tells us that good writing is about telling the truth. It's really good. I don't know what to say about it other than it's good advice on writing and life. And I think you really have to be involved in life to be a good writer. You cannot write books in under a rock. You could, but they wouldn't be very good books. So I think you really have to go out and experience life, and then you have good content for your writing, if that makes sense. The next one up is 1,000 Words A Writer's Guide to Staying Creative, Focused, and Productive All Year Long by Jamie Attenberg. This one I read recently. I read it on Kate Kavanaugh's recommendation. She did a video about this, so this is the one I think most people might know out of my list. There are seasons, and I took notes on this one. I'm not going to go find the notes because I don't know where the notebook is that they're in. But they like, what if you do 1,000 words a day for 2 weeks? And the thing with like 15,000 words or something, and it's like a boot camp. But it goes into talk about the different like seasons of life in writing. And I think one of the common threads through all these recommendations is that they're advice on life and writing, and you need both to have good writing and a good life. I think, at least for writers, you need to write to have a good life. Like otherwise, you're gonna be miserable because you have stories in you that need to get out, and I want to read them. So, but they talk about like spring is like preparing for creativity, and summer is like a really active time for writing. Fall is like about revision, stuff like that, and winter is for resting. And while it doesn't necessarily line up with like real life seasons, you can think of life in those seasons still. Next up, I have Dear Writer, Are You in Burnout? This one I read when I was really burnt out earlier this year, and there's the cover. It goes over warning signs, common stages, and recovery strategies. And it was actually really helpful just to understand why you burn out in writing and like how different people have different capacities for writing. All the time my friends are like, when you write so much, if I wrote that much I would be so burnt out, and I'm like, yeah, I write this much and I'm so burnt out too a lot of the time. So I'm trying to take advice right now from Write 10K in a Day by Lydia Michaels, and like up my tolerance and make my life more balanced, so I'm not just sitting and writing for so long every day. I really liked her plate analogy, where you have like plate size, and that plate size changes over time. If you have a size 1 to 5 plate, you handle a few things really excellently, and you're trying to fit like a size 7 plates worth of family, work, etc. You're way too far into the edge of your plate and you're like overfilled. But likewise, if you are actively better at having more on your plate and you have like a size 10 plate and you don't have enough on your plate, then you're also going to feel the effects of burnout, like you're doing too little. And I thought that was really interesting. And I don't know if that's actually true, but as someone who like operated on a size 10 plate through like high school and most of college, I think it has some resonance, because if I wasn't doing enough, I felt idle, I felt bored. It's like we have to be careful about like balancing our plate and making sure we're okay. Next up is Refuse to Be Done by Matt Bell. This is another one that was really helpful for me in university. It's about a 3-draft structure for writing and like never giving up, which is important because I think you only ever fail when you give up. This is awesome quote at the beginning that I've highlighted. Writing a novel is kind of like scaling Mount Everest and passing by your own bones on the way, from Karen Russell. Refuse to Be Done by Matt Bell was for my capstone class in university, where we actually did write novels, but we didn't read the whole thing. We wrote the key scenes, we wrote the islands, which is what this book talks about. It was so good. It just like goes over what you used to do in like each draft, and let's skip to the conclusion. Oh, I also talked about tracking your writing, and it's like even if it's just like a journal where you write down how many words you wrote that day, or how long you wrote that day, or what you wrote that day, or a spreadsheet where you do essentially the same thing. If you track your writing, you have to put a 0 on the days you don't do anything, which is it's sad and it kind of hurts, but because it's sad and it kind of hurts you, the idea is you will stop doing it and you'll write even just a little bit, and you will refuse to be done. You'll refuse to give up. It was so good, and I should reread it because I do a 3-draft process, and I have since before I read this book, but this one really helped me refine my writing process, so I think that's a good read for anyone. Romancing the Beat is another one that if you didn't know 1,000 words and you've written romance, you probably know Romancing the Beat, and that's like your trade-off. Romancing the Beat by Gwen Hayes is a romance beat sheet, kind of like Save the Cat, but for romance specifically, and it's in like dual point interview, which is awesome. I love it. It has like this really cute kind of like vintage looking cover, and one of my favorite things is for each beat she has a playlist. I think they're generally like 80s songs that she just really enjoys. She's like, this is like the beat. So anyways, this is Gwen Hayes, Romancing the Beat. Story structure for romance novels. How to write kissing books, which is cute. Kissing books are cute. I love romance. And then finally, I'm going to show you one of these covers. And it's gorgeous in color, but I don't have the new Kindle Color Soft because I don't believe in overconsumption. At least I'm trying to get out of overconsumption. because I don't believe in it. But this is by Hello Future Me on YouTube, also known as Tim Hickson, on Writing and World Building Volume 1. And I've read volumes 1 and 2. He recently came out with the third that I've not purchased yet. But it's just really good essays on basic craft principles. And it's not just basic craft principles. He goes into like one of the essays on writing and world building is like on redemption arcs. There's exposition problem, polytheistic religions, soft magic systems, hard magic systems. He goes into it, and these are like his. If you've seen Hello Future Me's videos, they're amazing video essays, and the video essays, but in written form and better. Like there's more to the book than there is to the videos themselves. Those are my favorites. Let me know in the comments what are your favorite craft books that you've read. Especially if you think not a lot of people know them. Oh, I have more. I just thought of more. A Swimming Upon in the Rain I just finished, and it was really good. It's Russian stories, and like give a seminar on like writing in life. Also very good. Yeah, there's your little bonus 8th one that I don't have on my Kindle right now or anywhere. But anyways, thank you for watching. Let me know your favorite craft book in the comment. If you made it this far, is there like a pond emoji or a lake emoji? Leave me a nature emoji. Let's say that. I don't care which one, just leave me a nature emoji. So it could be a butterfly, it could be a tree, like leave me something cool. Thank you. I love you guys.